What does success mean to you? How would
Success.
you define success when it comes down to your life as an actor?
Um, as an actor, I'm already successful. As a person, I feel successful. But success, the bigger picture, I guess it would be when you get to the point where, and this is why I define myself as successful. Is I literally do what I love, from cinematography to writing to to directing to acting. That's successful.
Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast. I am your host, Arthur Nicky Nicole. Here I believe in winning together and creating a safe, supportive space for people to share their stories and start their healing journey. My passion is to help people confront hidden battles, embrace their truths, and take steps towards a more fulfilling life. Every episode is designed to break the silence on topics that often go unspoken, leading to conversations that uplift, inspire, and transform. Join me as we break the barriers and find strength through shared experiences, one story at a time. Welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Silence where you can unleash your inner voice. I am your host, Arthur Nicky Nicole, and season 5 is still going with some amazing people, still winning and still taking things to the next level. Over the past few seasons, you've seen pain uncovered, new talent discovered, and transformation has occurred. Every episode has broke the silence in some type of way. And I will continue to shine that light, even in the darkness, to empower people to rise to the next level. It is time for us to be heard. It's time for us to heal. And it's time for us to transform. So let's get to the reason why we're here today. My guest today is Daniel, and I hope I don't butcher his name. Daniel DesVerges. He gonna tell me whether I said that right or not. I probably messed it up. But he's a multifaceted actor and screenwriter with a passion for storytelling. His diverse performances are in action, romance, and drama. And he's also been nominated multiple times. Yes, he's amazing, ain't he? I know. You want to find out a little bit more. So after his countdown, please welcome this amazing man to the platform.
Oh, I've been waiting for this all day.
Captain,
How much are they paying?
the amount that you make in a year, I'm making about 1 month. But who's counting, right? That's not why I'm here. This here is a motion for you to go ahead and dismiss some bullshit ass warrants that you got on my clients.
Your clients ain't right. Hey, tell me something. How do you sleep at night?
Quite comfortable. You know, I just bought this new sleep number bed. You should try it. Number 7 is the best one. My life's great. My kids is good. My wife, beautiful, banging body, sexy.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing tonight? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. So tell everybody a little bit about you that I didn't mention. And did I say your name right?
Well, you know what? I've heard it pronounced so many different ways. Depends on what feel you want to put on it. It's actually diverse, but I've heard DesVerges. I've heard a bunch of different ones. It's one of them Latin names that get all twisted up. You know what I mean?
I tried. I was like, I don't want to butcher his name. I
Oh
said, I
yeah.
hope I don't. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself that I didn't already say about you.
Well, you know what? Originally, I guess I could say, my stand. I guess it's about me. I guess you could say I'm from the Boogie Down Bronx originally. You know what I mean? And I grew up in California. So
That's different.
Oh
And
yeah,
LeBron
it was
challenging.
definitely a switch. I kind of bounced between the two growing up. So I was like, here I was in California a couple of years. Here I was back in the Bronx for a couple of years, and back and forth. And then somehow I ended up in Louisiana and in the
Mm,
Carolinas.
wow. You just all over the place.
I was being a cut up when I was young. It was just like my mother was over.
Oh, okay, okay. So when did you discover that acting and screenwriting were your true calling? And what was that particular moment where you had a role, maybe a role that solidified that this was for you?
Well,
I know your mother, encouraged it because she was, encouraged your career. So tell
yeah.
us a little bit about that.
Well, acting. I'd actually rediscovered my love for acting maybe about 6 years ago. Um, yeah, my mother had me involved in it when I was young. It was really overbearing to deal with that. So I was like, kind of stepped out and kind of like just took a break from theater and everything. And then I don't know, about 6 years ago, um, mind you, I was coming through a struggle at the time. About that time, I had started my road to recovery from active addiction, and what happened, I started pursuing the things that I actually truly enjoyed, and I forgot that I enjoyed. And along the way, it just clicked. It's like I miss it, you know. Um, so that's just a little truth about me. It's like it was actually after hitting kind of the rock bottom mentally and emotionally that you kind of just rediscover yourself. You start. That's the truth. You start rediscovering yourself and the things you love. As far as writing, Um, right. Another note about my mother, she was a book writer. She wrote a lot. I actually still have a ton of her writing because she passed away a year ago. So I'm kind of the family archive keeper now, you know. So I've got all those and I still haven't even looked through them. So, you know, but there's a lot to look through. But as far as writing, I typically like to write from experiences that I've either seen or been through personally that make me say, you know what, maybe somebody could use this story. Maybe this could help somebody. Even off of stuff that comes to my mind, because I used to travel a lot for acting purposes, but I was on the road like all the time. So, stories start coming to you, just, a small grain of something I've been through made me think of an entire thing that could be built into. And that's where I really started getting passionate about the concept of delivering different stories and different concepts, different viewpoints to people. Um, change it up a little bit, spice it up.
Right. Well, first, I want to say I'm sorry for your loss with your mother. I know she's looking down and she's proud of you for taking this stance in the acting world. She said, you know what? All that work wasn't in vain. He's doing it finally and he's winning. So
I,
she's proud of
I definitely put a lot of gray hairs on her head, but I saw more
you.
smiles in the last few years of her life than I'd ever put on her face. I saw more smiles. So
Absolutely.
that that
Wow.
was
I love it.
that's a beautiful thing when I think about it.
So, who are some of your biggest influences in the industry of acting?
Okay, now that's a long list. Well, let me be honest. Lately, like I said, I got a lot of different ones that I really have no favorite that's come before. Um, I guess I'm always influenced by those who take a different approach to it or have a story to tell with their story because I believe in faith, and I do. I really do believe in walking by faith. Like Denzel, his story, if you ever look into it, is phenomenal. Like it's amazing because he never gave up his morals, and in the end, he was rewarded for that. Even though he was staying in a car at the time when the opportunity came through, he had an opportunity that made him question whether he should or shouldn't do it. So he decided to pass on that. And then 3 months later, he was like, I should have done it. So I'm living in my car. I should have done it. But a few days later, after he had that breakdown, a way bigger opportunity happened, came through for him that he would never have been able to accept if he had took the first one. So I do
Right.
believe that walking by your personal faith and your understanding and what you decide is a yes or no for yourself is one of the biggest keys to success. So he's one of my greatest inspirations.
Wow.
Um, Another one would have to be one of the greatest. It's Robin Williams. A lot of people think of him as the funny guy, but man, he had some. He when he took on a character, whether it was serious or funny, he always added a certain level to it. Like there's a scene in Mrs. Doubtfire. A lot of people know that movie. That as a father of two teenagers, I will tear up every time I see it when he's talking to the judge. Please don't take my kids away from me.
Mhm.
That I'm like, oh, every time, like the feeling of the idea of somebody telling you you can't be with them. It's like, but he managed to deliver that so well that no matter how many times I see it, it's just a tearjerker every time.
Yes,
I love the drama. I love when we get to that point where it's like we can all feel that. Those are the moments I love. You know what I mean?
yes, definitely. That you know what? I never really thought about it that way, but that scene will put you in an emotional state because please don't take away my kid. And then you just see the
Yep.
emotions behind it, the crying. And I was like,
Yeah. It's and then any parent can feel that. Don't
yes,
take my kids away from me. You know, it's like there's no worse feeling in the world, you
nothing.
know? And I felt that was beautifully captured and done justice. So I mean, like that's always moments for me that stand out. I really, like I said, I can't say I have a favorite, but I do have favorite moments in cinema.
Right.
You know,
I love
so
that.
every time I take a performance and I see something written like that, I'm like excited. I get
Yeah.
super excited when I get a chance to play drama. I love it because it's like I want somebody to feel this performance. You know?
So now you say you like to play roles in drama. So how
Yeah.
do you get yourself in those modes? Like for instance, if it was a moment that a role you had to play where you had to cry or you had to be mad, how do you get yourself into these transitions and like win every time?
Well, it starts first thing when I'm building a character or building around a character is I like to find a place where me and this character have something in common. You know, like what can I relate to my character with? God? My job as a performing artist is to know my character better than even the person that wrote the character. So when it calls for this emotion, I'm feeling for this character. He's no longer a character; he's a person, and I have to empathize with this person emotionally. You know, and
Okay.
that's it's an introspective journey, and it's a beautiful thing because you can be a villain or a good guy. But when you truly understand your character, you understand their standpoint and how they feel. You know,
Right.
we all got feelings.
We all
You
got
know,
feelings. But what about those moments where you're in this particular, say it hits home. It's a role that hits home and it takes you back into time. Now you play the role, and then when it comes down to coming out of that role and being done with that role, how do you release from that? Because I'm sure it's opening up wounds, especially if you're feeling that character to that point, and then now you got to transition out of that character.
well, to me, honestly, when those wounds do open up, it gives me a chance to better know myself, to heal those wounds a little bit actively by expressing it, get it out there for the world to see. I don't. I'm the kind of person I don't believe in sugarcoating myself. If I'm very real, if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you. You know what I mean? But sometimes when I express those emotions and a wound does come ripping open, sometimes it hurts. Oh, it really hurts. Like I'll tell you a true story. One of my favorite scenes that never made it to screen. I was going through one of the most emotionally trying times of my life, and this is about 4 years ago. But it was a beautiful scene. I've kept that scene and it's tucked away. But the emotions in that scene were very real because of how I was feeling in my life at that time. I was actually going through the scenario that this guy was going through. He was getting ready to lose his family, divorce, and things like that. I was going through that, a separation at that time. And what happened was even by the time we wrapped, the screen partner, she instantly knew she needed to come check on me because I stepped away. But it was good to get it out
Right.
how I felt. Because in this society, as men, we're taught we gotta tough it out. We gotta tough it up, keep it in. That was a chance where I could finally just let it out. I saved it for that scene. Um, so it helped me heal. It helped me accept what was going on. It was it was a relationship that was just gonna go a separate way in the end anyway,
Right.
And because my life and their life were going like this, but it's basically how the scene played out. And I just let everything I felt come out.
Yes, you
And it
need
was
it.
yeah, and sometimes it's good for you to to let your feelings out instead of bottling it up, you know?
Exactly. But you know what? Just like writing and music, acting, the more conversations I sit down and have with actors and actors, I'm realizing that acting is therapy too.
It
Like
is.
people deal with their emotions through acting. They put themselves in that situation they really actually went through, and now they're releasing all of that from them.
It's a certain kind of I guess you could say it's kind of a it's an ugly beautiful. Don't want to say it. It's like the it's a painful beauty at certain points, you know. And I believe those are the moments that we truly can become the character we're rendering, you know.
Right.
Because at
Right.
that moment, like, ooh, me and you are going through this. I'm feeling it. I felt this 10, even if it's 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like I felt this,
Right.
you know. It's
Exactly.
like so. But again, I strive to make everything I read on the 2D, like on the paper, I want to bring it to 3D. I want people to feel that, you know?
Because your story can be very well somebody else's story. They went through the same things. I really believe that. So
I do
as a
too.
as an actor, and people always the naysayers, they're, why you want to be an actor or why you want to be an artist or why you want to be this because you're not making no money. Don't be out there starving. How did you react to the rejection of, you know what? No, you can't, you worked so hard for this role and you killed it. And then they tell you no.
Well,
And then, and then you got a naysayer to saying, that's why I
are we talking
told you
about?
not to do it anyway.
So when the rejection happens, well, that's one thing that I'm gonna say. That's something you develop in time. Um, at first, brand new actors and actresses, that's one of my biggest pieces of advice to them is be comfortable being rejected and get to the point where even if, let's say you do the audition, be happy with what you did. You know, you never know. You might not fit because you're too tall or something. You don't know the reason why you're rejected. You never really can know. You might have given a great performance, but you don't fit what they're looking for. But if you leave a solid impression, that casting director is going to remember you.
Mhm.
You know. So but at first, oh yeah, rejection's tough. But rejection's tough on everyone in life. Um, none of us want to be rejected as a writer or as any kind of artist that's speaking from the soul. We don't want our soul being told no. You know,
Yep.
it's like the guy asking a girl on a date. It's like the scariest moment is her to say no. You're like, you
Exactly.
know what? It's terrifying.
But it's life. I mean, I really do believe that there are going to be a lot of no's in your life,
Yeah.
but
All you need
it's
is one.
those couple of yeses that matter
Yes,
that's going to take you to the next level. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
I don't mind
And
being told no. That just wasn't my opportunity.
and one of my favorite quotes that was told to me when I was practicing the martial arts, actively practicing. I still practice martial arts. But one of my favorite quotes I've lived with is when the one voice inside of you is louder than the 10,000 outside, you know you're doing the right thing.
Ooh, I'm
Mm.
still that.
Oh, yeah, you can
I
have
gotta
it.
use that.
Oh, yeah.
I
Because that's
like
the
that.
one that really counts is you. If you're
You.
happy with what you've achieved and done in your life, if you're happy, I mean, you're never going to be happy if you're living with the what if I did or what if I did, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But you're going to be happy if saying that at least I know I gave it my all.
That's it. That's it.
Exactly.
So achieving the SAG eligibility and multiple nominations, that being a huge accomplishment. How did those milestones shape your perspective on your success? And what do they mean for you personally and professionally?
Well, to become eligible for SAG, that was a big moment for me because it happened very early into my film career. My eligibility happened. Um, it was like most people go 7, 8 years before they ever get a chance to get on a union set and become eligible. I somehow I did it in 6 months. I don't know. That was the grace of God. You know what I mean? God bless. That
Okay.
was I didn't expect that. And I almost at that point was still transitioning into film because I was used to theater before. So I was still transitioning into film. So I was like, this must be a big deal. Everyone's making a big deal about it, but what is this? What's going on? I was like, And I look into it, it's like, oh, well, all right. Yeah, I was like,
I'm
but
the man.
I was like, that's cool. But again, it was a very big moment because you achieved something. It told me how fast I'm moving.
Right.
Even when it seems slow, you're moving fast. Sometimes you're moving way faster than you know. Because the truth is, we want it to happen on our time. We want it to happen when we want it to happen.
Exactly.
But that's not how it's going to go down. It's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. You
Wow.
know?
6 months?
Yeah.
It's
It
amazing.
blew my mind because I literally got the call from like director producer. But I knew who he was. I submitted for this role. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Months went by and I was like, okay, somebody got the role. I wasn't even on there on the radar. So I'm driving down the road. The one film I just wrapped is the trailers are looking great and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, driving down the road. And my phone rings. I don't know who it is. I answer, hello, and he's like, oh, this is I'll tell you, it was Man Robinson at the time. And he goes, this is Man Robinson. You know who I am? I was like, yes, yeah, I know you are. He's like, you submitted for the role of Pitbull. You still interested in it? I was like, yeah. I mean, I was like, I thought you for sure cast it. I said, well, do I got to audition for this role or anything like? He goes, no, I want you for the role. Period. And I was like,
Mm.
are you sure? He's like, well, yeah, you can send one if you want to. Just here, I'll send you the lines. If the lines over, send. I was like, okay. And it's kind of how it happened. He picked me because he just felt it from me. That's what he said,
Man,
and that was a blessing. That was a real
a
blessing.
blessing from the skies for real.
Yes, it was.
So
Um,
your journey has been built on resilience. Were
yes,
there any moments in your life along the way where you felt like giving up? And if
yeah,
you did, how did you push through those challenging times and still stay motivated? Because you have a lot of people that would jump on the first thing that's trending in order to get to the next level. And it's hard for them to stay authentic because
yeah,
money moves. And
yeah. The
people
money
will,
talk.
jump on money.
Go ahead.
So
Oh, yeah.
how do you stay grounded in this world that's so oversaturated to a degree with actors, actresses, the industry in general?
Yeah, I get that. But how do I stay grounded? Because I don't have a price tag. Number one, I'm an original piece. That's how I look at it. I'm gonna be me regardless of what. I always look at myself as like, you got, the store brands, you got this brand, and then you got craft made, like, handcrafted. And that's kind of how I'm an original piece. So I don't like to put a price on me. Like, you know, um, but also going through the things I went through as a youth, growing up, different situations I was in, it built a thick skin. It really did. It built a lot of patience. And see, I used to be fast. I used to be pumping the gas all the time and I'd crash often when I was a young man. So I'll hit the gas and here I was crashing, you know. So sometimes, it kind of taught me to be a lot more patient with things in life. You know,
You have to.
No,
You have to.
like I said, and plus, there's even when I'm in a point where there's nothing going on, I've never panicked because I've been in situations far worse than where I'm at currently. And so I'm always counting my blessings, you
You
know,
have to.
because if I'm blessed with the time, guess what? If I'm blessed with a big break between roles, I'm blessed with the time to write, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it. I'm a masterpiece. You said I'm a masterpiece. Nobody like me. Nobody, you can't be duplicated.
Yeah,
I love that. So
absolutely.
if your life was turned into a film, what part of your personal story do you think you would most be, would be the most difficult part to for you to put on the screen and why?
Um, all right. One of the most difficult things I ever had to experience as a young man. I lost my best friend when I was 10. He was 11 years old. Um, this has, number one, this scenario in my life has given me a real grasp of what it looks like because he passed away in my arms. Um, to understand what somebody passing away feels like. I actually booked a couple of roles off a performance I did because the person directing saw this and he says this man has either been shot in the stomach before or knows what it looks like because he said it was disturbing to watch. He said it was so real. My friend, that was probably the hardest scene to ever have to write down or direct or do was that was one of the hardest moments in a very big transition in my life. I was 10 years old and my friend was 11. He was a few months older than me. Um, he was gunned down in Southern California by a police officer at 11 years old. Uh, yeah, we were of course the neighborhood wasn't the best neighborhood. It was like but it was he fit a description. Shit, right. And 11-year-old kid fit a description. And police officer, of course, never back then they didn't never care about stuff like that. It's just like the '90s, and I'm sitting there holding him, screaming for help. And like, cause he happened, we met up and we were going back our separate ways. And then I heard gunshots. I come back around the other way. He's there. He's laying there, and there's a police officer over him, dipping, heading out. You know what I'm saying? Just I'm sitting there holding him, cradling him. He's coughing blood, and this literally happened to me. It's an experience of my life. I'll never forget it. It stays in here forever. And when he's coughing up blood, he's not able to speak a word. I've never forgot screaming for help, and no one heard. You know,
11.
he was 11 years old. So I was like, you know what?
That's so sad.
Yeah, and that groomed me. That groomed me to never trust anything for a long time in my life. I was like, I'm not going out anyway. No matter what, it's real. No matter where I'm at in life, it could happen. So it kind of gave me a lot of. I got into a lot of trouble not long after that because at that point you just kind of stop. It kind of messes with your head, you know. And I gave my mom a lot of. I really must have given her a lot of a
You
lot
was
of
hurt.
grief.
You was hurt, and then you were so young, dealing
Yeah,
with that at a young age. That's, oh wow.
yeah.
And
It
to
was.
see that happen before your eyes, police shot him. That's
He
heartbreaking.
and the thing is, he actually was never did anything to hurt anybody. He was actually the friend you kind of got cheered up by. It was like it was really messed up.
I'm so sorry that happened to you, and I'm so sorry that happened to him.
Yeah. But that would be the hardest chapter pretty much to write because after that it was kind of like you kind of the world doesn't seem so bright at all. That's kind of like the moment where you stop being. I kind of can when I did a lot of introspective work. That was a moment where I just really stopped being a kid.
Right.
I was like that was my last kid friend, and here I was more of a troublemaker than he was in the neighborhood. I was hanging out with the older kids already, you know, and he was always you know, trying to play games. You know, didn't make no sense to me.
No sense, no sense, and he didn't deserve that. He really
Mhm.
did. So that leads me to the next question. As your career continues to evolve, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind as an actor, as a professional, as a person in general?
In general, the legacy I really want to leave behind is the way I want to be remembered in the end when it's all said and done. There's a lot of things I want to do, a lot of programs that I want to get started and put my hands in through help outreach programs that are more proactive. And I would like to be remembered more for what I do in the neighborhoods more than what I do on the screen. You know.
Have you ever thought about doing a foundation for your friend?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I have. That's in the back of my mind. It stays there. I did a lot of I've done a lot of youth outreach, drug prevention, assistance, things like that too. I do a lot of outreach when I have the opportunity to, but I want to get to the point where I can drive more energy towards that as well. Maybe discover the young artists that no one's paying attention to. Give them an opportunity to get out of a situation.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and I
think
think
that's
that.
something that you'd be passionate about,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that can be really successful to bring more awareness to I think that's something you should do.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like I said,
So
I truly believe in the next generation is our future.
it is. And they're so corrupted now with some of the things that are out here now. For
Yeah,
instance, when we were coming up, so
it's
they need
crazy.
some kind of positivity in their lives,
Absolutely,
some
absolutely.
role model, somebody.
Yeah,
So what does
I think it's time.
exactly what does success mean to you? How would
Success.
you define success when it comes down to your life as an actor?
Um, as an actor, I'm already successful. As a person, I feel successful. But success, the bigger picture, I guess would be when you get to the point where, and this is why I define myself as successful, is I literally do what I love, from cinematography to writing to, to directing to acting. That's successful. It's when you can live your life through the means of something you love and you never feel like you're working a day in your life. That's success.
Yes, yes,
That's
you're
success.
right.
Well, it doesn't matter if your bank account's got 50,000 or 500 million. It's about you being happy with what you're doing and feeling complete,
Absolutely.
surviving and thriving by what your means are and what you're doing. And it makes you happy. You get a sense of fulfillment doing the things you love. I think that's success.
I agree. I agree completely. I never knew what that statement meant until I actually started doing it with the podcast.
Sad.
When you're really doing something you really love to do, you're not working. You're really just building yourself and getting better. And it feels good. That is a true statement. I never knew that was true until I started doing it. And the podcasting is what it is. I love this.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you're doing what you love, then you already won.
You won. You won.
You
And
know?
people don't get it, but you won with just doing something you love to do. You gotta tap into
Yep.
that.
But I truly think that as a society in general, we're so conditioned that we have never won in our minds. We're always behind or we're always losing. That we're so busy to be thinking and focused on the negatives that when the positives show up, we're not ready to receive the blessing. We're not just mentally ready, even though it's like I'm already winning, but I'm not seeing it that way.
Right.
I had to get over that because for a couple of years we all still struggle with growth is an eternal process. It's going to happen until the day we're gone. And I still had moments a couple of years back where I would struggle with it, where I feel like I was like, and somewhere in the last couple of years, it I, it really dawned on me that I'm like, I'm all right. I'm like, I'm doing, you know what I mean? It hit, and that's when things started really blooming even more. I guess I got to the point where I was ready to receive a blessing. You know,
Right. You have to be ready though, because when you're really living in your truth, your passion, you have to be ready for those opportunities to come to you. You really do.
absolutely,
Because they can just
absolutely.
literally drop in your lap.
They they can, and the doors. There's always doors opening. You know, it's like if this door closes, I promise you, it won't be 72 hours and another door will start opening a little bit.
You know why?
Just gotta know when to look for it.
You know why though? You're walking by faith. That's
Yep.
why those doors are just swinging wide open.
Yeah. And if I miss the cue, okay, cool, another one's gonna open. You
Exactly.
know, and it's like right now, I just had one release come out. The clip you showed at the beginning, Interrogation Room on the IHQ network, that just came out. Next month, I think the date I saw was December 2nd. I'm super excited about this one coming out. It's squatters' rights.
Hmm.
Um, it's I was so happy when I did this role, and I'm so excited to see it come to life. And I'm just like, it's a blessing, you know.
Squatters. She said squatters. What's the name of it?
Squatters' rights. It's actually a very deep story about a father,
Hmm.
by any means, trying to get his child back, whatever he's got to do. Um, I was, I, I feel like my performance. I actually feel really good about my performance in it. I didn't have the biggest part, and it's not about the biggest part. I believe in playing my part. But it's definitely a good part, you know, and I'm very excited about it.
I love it. I love it. So I'm getting down to our last question. This is the out of the box question. If you could have a conversation with your future self, how would that conversation go, and what questions would you ask yourself?
That is a really good question. If I could have a conversation with my future self, hmm, I don't know. I have no idea. That's a tough one. I'd probably ask him, was the ride worth it?
Mm.
Because I'm already feeling that way, and I just want to make sure I'm still feeling that way in the future. That's
I
what I was
like
like. I was like, was the ride worth it? It wasn't worth it. He's like, if he says, yeah, it was definitely worth it. I'm like, all right, cool. Everything's full steam ahead. Let's keep going.
that. I like that. It's the rhyme in the word.
Yeah.
All right, so this is your time to shine. This is your 30 seconds of fame. I'm gonna hand the platform over to you. Tell everybody where they can find you, what's coming up for you in 2025. All the good stuff. You got a lot going on. So tell everybody what's going on with you. There you
All
go.
right.
You have it.
You can find me on Instagram or Facebook. You can find me under Daniel Charles DesVerges on both at Daniel Charles DesVerges. And you can even find me on TikTok at Daniel Charles DesVerges as well. Uh, I'm not too active on X or Twitter. Uh, should be better about that. In 2025, I have a series that I have landed the main antagonist in called After. It's a faith-based piece, kind of like The Walking Dead, and I think you guys are going to love it if you tune in. Make sure you check it out. I got a couple of other projects I'm getting ready to wrap up filming and for 2024, so hopefully those are coming out in 2025. I'm not at liberty to discuss them, but one love, everybody. Y'all keep following, keep supporting, and keep doing the thing because you know what? You got you.
Awesome. You said like The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's got the feel of the. It's basically there's the end days. It's almost like it's the end days.
Oh my God. You got to keep in touch with me because I have to watch that.
Oh yeah. I'm
If it's
excited
like The
about
Walking
filming
Dead.
it. I'm excited about filming it. I mean, actually, I'll tell you the truth. The casting director didn't have me envisioned for the role, but somehow he was like, I couldn't see past that performance. He's like, it's yours. You got the role. And I was like,
Gifted
oh yeah.
and blessed. That's all it is. Blessed. It was
Oh,
yours. It was yours from the beginning.
that's what I'm saying. What's yours is meant to be yours. Can no one take away from you.
Not nobody. Not nobody. But I want to thank you for taking out the time to come talk to me and allowing me to shine a light on you. I am proud of you. You keep moving. I keep allowing God to open those doors for you and walk by faith and just believe that He's gonna see you through.
Thank you for having me.
You're
Thank you for having
welcome.
me. It's been an
And
honor.
we in it to win it. So if there's anything that I can do for you on my end, maybe I can advertise something for you. However you want me,
Absolutely.
whatever you need me to do.
Hey,
Feel
it's one love. Back at you. Anything I can do, hey, love the energy.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And thank you so much to everybody else out there that's tuning into this amazing episode. Y'all know y'all dig here. This has been a great vibe and a great interview. And I hope that you have been touched in some type of way through this conversation. And maybe this has encouraged you, or maybe this was a reminder that you too can do it. You too can follow your dreams and get to the top. So as we continue this journey together, remember your voice matters, your life matters, and no matter what you're trying to accomplish in this world, you can do it. So if today's the episode has touched you in some type of way, I encourage you to reflect, share, and continue to break the silence in your own lives. So until next time,
Oh, I've been waiting for this all day.
Captain.
How much are they paying?
The amount that you make in a year, I'm making about 1 month. But who's counting, right? That's not why I'm here. This here is a motion for you to go ahead and dismiss them bullshit ass warrants that you got on my clients.
Your clients ain't right. Hey, tell me something. How do you sleep at night?
Quite comfortable. You know, I just bought this new sleep number bed. You should try it. Number 7's the best one. My life's great. My kids is good. My wife, beautiful, banging body. Sex is good. And my money is long. It look like the only move that you got left, Captain, is let my clients go. ASAP. Starting with strike money.
Let him go. Calm down, Marty. Calm down.
No, strike ass ain't going nowhere.
Calm down,
Let
Marty.
who go?
Marty, calm down. Calm down.
I guess y'all understand English, huh? Pronto, amigo. Meaning for every second that y'all keep my clients from getting back to their normal lives and their happy families, there's gonna be another 100,000 added to the lawsuit that I'm dropping on the city and state. Good day, gentlemen. 21 and up. I think I deserve this. Good ass owner, Captain.
Stand that motherfucker. Oh, you think he is Floyd Mayweather? Come on, Cap, give me another chance.